second. Hi, YouTube. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. Had to put eye drops in. I think these fires are messing with my eye, whereas like Yogi has like breathing issues because of these fires, but meanwhile I just get like red eyes. You get red eyes too from the fires.
Me, my mom, my brother all have our eyes get irritated when there's like allergies.
Yeah. Yep, same. Hi, hello, hi. That doesn't look great. That's not really a flattering angle, but we're gonna run with it. So I wonder if I move it over here, then I've got both of them. It's not really a flattering angle though. Hey, we'll let it run. Look at my terrible shirt. It's all beat up and bust right now. Okay, so let me back you up. I kind of hate you there. Sorry, YouTube. Okay. We're good. Okay, I'm comfortable with that. Okay, so here's the deal. Yogi is out sick. Yogi is out sick. We don't know what he has. We hope it's not the big COVID, but he just hasn't been feeling well, so he's going to go get checked out. But you've got me, you've got Cam. We're both here in the store putting out books. We have shut down the store, I think, a few minutes early, mostly because people, whatever reason, you put up a webcam and people decide they want to walk in and like, what are you doing? Like you're filming a Hollywood movie or something. You're like, look, this is just a stream for my customers. Like, chill out. But so I couldn't deal with that without Yogi away, so we just shut down the store a few minutes early. So if you're coming right now, I'm sorry. But what else is going on? Pop culture news, real quick. We had some, and then Shuri's signed a big contract. The actress that plays Shuri has signed a big contract. I can't remember her name. What's her name? Letitia Wright has signed a giant contract with Marvel. We all know what that means. Spoilers, Black Panther. But I'm hoping Cam wants her to play Black Panther forever, and I'm hoping eventually she transitions to the Ancient One because I like that storyline a lot too. Sans the big space bug. I didn't like that. What else? What else is going on, Cam? Give me some meaty thing.
Oh, DC Fandom got announced.
Oh, DC Fandom is announced for October, and there was a lot of stuff dropped. We're gonna get a Naomi trailer, right?
Panel, but I don't know. Hopefully a trailer. That'd be
Naomi
awesome.
panel. We better get a Naomi trailer. Stargirl. What if Titans? Hi, Yogi. Yogi's here. Yogi's in text, so you're gone, but you're here in spirit. Yeah, lots of shows. I'm hoping for a Naomi trailer. That's really all I care about. If I get that, then I'll be fine.
We're getting a Batman trailer.
A Batman trailer is cool too. I'm cool with that, but I really want the Naomi trailer.
And a Young Justice trailer.
And a Young Justice trailer. I need to catch up on that one. I was actually really enjoying that, and I didn't finish it.
Really good. I think you will.
Yeah. What else? Anything else? I'm trying to think.
Shang-Chi comes out on Friday.
Shang-Chi comes out on Friday.
Shang-Chi, my bad.
Is it? I always pronounced it Shang-Chi. I don't know.
Even Kevin Feige's calling it Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi? Okay, I messed it up then. Shang-Chi comes out on Friday. I am most excited because me and Cam are going to go see it Thursday night, so I'm pretty hyped. Oh, and if you come on Thursday, we're probably shutting down the store 15 minutes early then, too, because we're leaving for the movie. Sorry. Yeah, Patterson Batman first look. Yeah. So he has good reviews. No, he says the first look has good reviews. So, okay, cool.
Dark and edgy and...
Dark and edgy is what I want.
Batman is vicious and brutal.
Okay. I'm cool with that. I'm trying to think of what else. I don't think I have anything else. Let's just jump into comics. It looks like horror. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, Batman should kind of look dark, gothic, and like horror at times. Anyways, Williamson, Marino, Pelletier, Derenick, Fernandez, Rapmund, and Hi-Fi. This is Infinite Frontier, and oh god, it's so good. It's so friggin' good. So we've got the OG Justice Society, which has sort of gotten to the bottom of things and figured out that Psycho Pirate is at the root of the problems in the Omega world, and we're finally going to get an answer as to what that is and why they're pulling strings in the multiverse. And it's wild. I'm super intrigued. And this answers a lot, like a lot of stuff. We've got a lot of questions answered with this. And more importantly, people are betting against my boy Roy Harper. And I, that's usually a safe bet against Roy Harper to do the right thing. But, Roy's a long shot, and the world loves long shots. So you need to read this comic. It's great. It's not my DC pick of the week. Really close, though. It's outstanding. The art is still gorgeous. The storyline is really, really fun. And I am loving this Infinite Frontier run. You will, too. Next is a book that totally took me by surprise. Most importantly, because of the covers, which include the variants that have done the same thing. This is Yang, Pelletier, Gray, and Hi-Fi. And we're talking about Batman, Superman. But if you look at this cover, watch this, you flip it, and it's Batman, Superman, and you flip it, and it's Batman, Superman, and here's the catch. Their stories are correct on each side. They're the right way up, which is a really cool effect. And there's a reason for that, and the stories intersect. And I loved it. I had a good time. Granted, I thought we'd wrapped up the Batman, Superman film universe thing with beating the villain last time, but apparently we're getting one bonus story in this annual, which is told in a really ridiculously cool way, and I loved it. I had a good time with it, but I've been fully on board with this Batman, Superman run. In fact, I think the weakest of all the stories out of Batman, Superman have been this film one, and yet they're pretty good still. Like, they're not bad stories. This one's fun, and I think the gimmick of this book is worth the price of admission alone. It's kind of a cool gimmick. Next is Tinian the Fourth, Federici, and Sotomayor, and we're talking about Batman Fear State Alpha! Oh, God. We knew Fear State was going to be good because last time we saw, what's the billionaire's name? I always forget his name. It's a billionaire. He basically thought he was pulling all the strings to sort of instill his control and his patriot system over Gotham. Are they called patriots? They're called patriots, right? No. Peacemakers. I got my P names confused. He was installing his peacemaker system over Gotham, and he wound up being betrayed by Scarecrow. Who would have thought that Scarecrow would betray you? Who would consider that?
Why would that ever happen?
What? Jonathan Crane dishonest? What? Okay, anyways. So Scarecrow betrayed him, and it like upset him so much he started throwing up. It was really, really funny. Like, I laughed hysterically how that went down. And we're dealing with that, plus all of the Miracle Molly's people are trying to find a home, the Unsanity Collective. I still don't like that name, but it's a very Raver-esque name, so why not? They're still trying to find a home, and they might take refuge with a certain, sort of split former villain in the form of Poison Ivy. And if you've been reading Swamp Thing, you know that she's split into multiple people at this point, and it's not fully explained yet, but yeah, so that's happening. And I mean, if a group of homeless ravers are going to take refuge in some Technicolor place, why wouldn't it be like Poison Ivy's forest? It makes sense. It's so Alice in Wonderland. It makes perfect sense. I don't know. So, yeah, is it good? Yeah, it's great. The art, I will tell you, the art is different from what we've been seeing. I don't know this. The art looks different from what's been running with this storyline, and I don't hate it. It's just, it kind of took me by surprise. I didn't expect it to be quite that different from what we've been reading, but it's still good art. The story is great. If you've been reading the current Batman run, you know what's been building up to this. Sadly, Ghostmaker only has like one line in this. I'm a little bummed about that. Oh my God, there's a Ghostmaker and Peacemakers.
No, Peacekeepers.
Oh, Peacekeepers, that's right. Peacemaker. I've got my universes confused. Anyways, is it good? Yeah, it's great. Next is a book. Oh my God, it was almost my pick of the week. Milestone returns. Static Season 1. Now, okay. Static's got to get a suit. That suit does look cool, but he might be changing things up. and trying, well, an older style suit to see how it looks. I think we're eventually going to wind up settling on this suit. But also, we do know that Static needs to go through some things. He's got to go through some moments. He's got to eventually learn that he can fly. And how's he going to pull that off? Well, you get to see it in this issue. So, yeah, okay, Milestone is hitting all the milestones. I'm allowed one dad joke per show. Anyway, so Milestone, yeah, we know that it's going to happen, but the dialogue is so good. The art is amazing. The story is really fun, and yeah, we know some of this stuff is definitely going to go down the way it goes down, but it's going like, oh God, he's about to discover it. You know, it's fun. I'm having a good time with it, and I think if you're a Static fan, you're loving this run. I know Cam is. You know, Cam went to the back right now, but it's just, there's so much good here. So come pick it up. Next is a book that caught me completely off surprise and didn't realize I would love it as much as I did. That's Conrad Clunin, Oming, and Soma, and we're talking about the Midnighter 2021 annual. Now, this is Midnighter and his boyfriend Apollo teaming up with Mr. Miracle, the new Mr. Miracle, Shiloh, my man Shiloh. And they're trying to figure things out. More importantly, Midnighter's kind of been displaced in some sort of quantum time entanglement. And I have to tell you, the way he solves his problems are very Midnighter. And if you know the character, you know that by me saying it's very Midnighter, I'm also saying it's very Red Hood. He's very much a shoot first, ask questions later kind of guy. And I really love that about him. And it plays out perfect in this one. I laughed, I don't know, 3 or 4 times while reading this. The art's pretty good, but it wasn't my favorite thing of the book. I think the art is the same or similar art style to whoever is doing the current Mr. Miracle. It might be the same. I think it is clean. But I don't hate it by any means. It was not my favorite part about this book. The writing was ridiculously fun. I don't know how many times I laughed, but I think I said 3 or 4. But it was a good book, and I think if you read that, you will love it too. If you do not know the Midnighter, I wouldn't blame you. I don't know the Midnighter all that well, and I've been into comics my entire life. But this is a pretty fun introduction to the character, and I would say don't skip it. As far as annuals go, that one's really good. Next is going to be my DC pick of the week: Sheridan, Sandoval, Tarragona, and Areola, and we're talking about Teen Titans Academy. Now, why is it my pick of the week? Well, the art is amazing, the story is really fun, and finally, one of my problems with the current Teen Titans Academy run has been that there's too many moving parts. It's not like Strange Academy. Strange Academy introduced a bunch of characters whom I didn't know, but didn't like it put them all on the first pages in like the first issue, but then focused on each specific character and their backstories. Teen Titans, it's felt like they've thrown all these characters in and expected us to figure out whom they are and go from there. And each issue's had like multiple of these new characters. And finally, a couple issues back, they started like telling the individual stories, and it's settled down a bit. Now this one, it centers around, well, a team of the Titans who are going on summer vacation and how they've sort of fallen into some weird circumstances, and it turns into a mystery. And what do you do when you're with a magic user that likes mysteries and old cartoons? Well, it turns into a Scooby story in a very literal sense. I love that. That was a really, really fun showing. On top of that, there is a character in Titans Academy that I do not know really well, and I think it's a new character. Her name is Tressa. And this character is ridiculously cool for a lot of reasons. The character is all like neon green. She's got long hair. She has some kind of flying power that makes her float in the air. And I realized this issue what the artist is doing. That character is a flying fish. She's designed to look like not a flying fish, a fighting fish, She's designed to look like a fighting fish. I can't remember the names of those type of fishes, but you know the kind that they are with the long flowing fins and stuff like that, that they all keep them separated in pet stores. She's designed to look like that, and it's captivating. I think I like that character to begin with, but now that I figured out what the artist is doing with it, I kind of love that character. So yeah, that is outstanding. It's awesome. It's a really, really fun time seeing that. So I like that quite a bit. The art is really good. The story is good. It's going to be my DC pick of the week. It was just plain fun, ridiculously fun. You'll like that. Trust me. Buy it. It's great. Next is Jones, Mello, and Belair, and we're talking about Wonder Girl, who has been ensnared by Eros. Well, we already know she's kind of falling in love. She met somebody, I think, on her trip, and he's tall, dark, and dreamy to her. So, yeah, she's been doing that. But we get a lot of humor in the way that Diana will proclaim something before she fights someone, like, I'm the daughter of daughter of the Queen of the Amazons and stuff like that. We get her, Yara Flor, declaring something, but she doesn't really know very well where she comes from, and it comes out really awkward and fun. The art is amazing too. The art is, oh my god, it's so good. The writing is fun. Yara Flor as a character is flawed in all the best ways. She's very much like, it feels like young Wonder Woman stuff, which is how she's written. It's just a really good run, and I think that you will love this too. This issue in particular does have one of my favorite redheads in the DC universe, and that's Artemis. Artemis is running around with the OG Wonder Girl, and that's great to see too. So yeah, come pick this up. It's really cool. Next is J. Michael Straczynski, Steve Epton, and Brian Reber, and this is Telepass. Now, I went into this not knowing what to think, but now I kind of think that Straczynski is like trying to write his own version of Heroes. That's what it seems like, except everyone is the guy with telepathy, the Matt, what was his name, Matt Hawthorne or something? Matt Matt something. I can't remember. But basically, long story short, the premise is, well, there is a giant accident in the world. It's not fully explained, and a bunch of people get telepathic powers, and it goes from there. And these are obviously the characters who are going to get powers and how it's going to play out. It's a Straczynski story, so if you think you know how it's going to play out, it doesn't. But I will say that being a Heroes fan, because of course I like comics, I like the Heroes TV show. This felt a lot like Heroes, but it was like he was writing his own version of it and being like, I can do this better because I'm J. Michael Straczynski. So if you're a Straczynski fan, you would love this. The art is the weaker part. I don't like art that's too gritty, and at times this borderline on too gritty. But the story is really fun. And I don't know, Straczynski seems to team up with this artist quite a bit, Epting. I've seen them work together on a lot of stuff. Next is Cullen Bunn, Fran Gallen, and El Torres, and this is Lucky Devil. Sorry, guys, got to take a drink. This is a wild story that sort of came out of nowhere, and I didn't realize I would like it as much as I did. Let me look through the books real quick and decide if this is my indie pick of the week. It is. This is my indie pick of the week, Lucky Devil. I didn't read the first one, and yet wasn't that confused, oddly enough. I'm going to break down the premise so that if anyone decides to jump in on the second issue, they can sort of gather it. So this centers around a guy who has gotten lucky and somehow bested a demon lord and wound up with their powers. And having their powers, has decided to, well, start a religious cult that worships him as a god, like a living god. And it goes from there. And it's wild, it's weird, it's wild. It's dealing with sort of dark stuff of religion and sinister stuff. And you find that if you wind up with a bunch of power all at once, you might be powerful, but you also make a lot of enemies. And that's what this is showing. So this is Cullen Bunn doing his usual, like, I've got a supernatural story to tell you, and it's going to be a fun and wild ride. And so Cullen Bunn, it's good. But the artist that they've paired him with is great, like really good. Now, I keep in mind, I do like artists that Cullen Bunn gets paired with, but this one is exceptionally well. I was hooked on this entire story. And I want to know more about this character, and I'm probably going to go back and buy issue number 1. So I would say this is a must-buy, and this is my indie pick of the week. And I don't think you'll be confused. I think you'll read it and be able to understand what's going on the same way I was. If you are confused, I'm sorry, but I tried to give you a brief synopsis of it. But don't skip it. It's good. Next is Web of Spider-Man. Oh, that cover is Greg Land. Web of Spider-Man, and this is Kevin Schnick and Alberto Albuquerque. What a cool name, Alberto Albuquerque. I wonder if that's his real name or that's his artist name. Anyways, this is Spider-Man. Now, this centers around, what does this center around, Cam? Tell me.
It centers around the premise at Disney's California Adventure Campus.
It's the theme of Avengers Campus.
And where they are bringing in young scientists to, come up with the next, big scientific thing as a part of.
And who is one of the young scientists that is mentioned?
Moon Girl.
Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. So that's awesome. And this story is actually really fun. It centers partially in reality, partially in virtual reality, and those stories always to me feel a little hokey, but they pulled it off. Like I had a good time with this one. I wasn't bored with it. The art's on point. There's a the Greg Land cover is cracking me up because of what Greg Land is known for, and that's kind of a wild angle. But it's actually pretty fun. I had a good time with this story, and as somebody who jumped in on issue 4, I wasn't terribly confused. I don't think you would be either. I'd be surprised if they were doing something that their whole campus centers around, and the story was at all confusing. This to me felt together. It was like putting together a team and the reasons why, and that's really all we need. Next is a book I loved. Oh God, did I love it? Scott Anindito Morales and Rosenberg. Oh God, there is so much to unpack. So this is Star Wars High Republic issue number 9. We've finally gotten past the Little Shop of Horrors storyline centering around the Drengar plant hive mind creature. The story got a little bit old. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't my favorite. It just got a little old. This one, well, it centers around the new Jedi, and the new Jedi Knight has to do something, and it's really amazing. She needs to go undercover and root out some stuff involving the Hutt cartel. And look, okay, I'm going to tell you, when it came to the Legends universe, the expanded universe, my favorite character of all of that was a Jedi named Quinlan Vos. And Quinlan Vos was a tortured soul who is basically going back and forth between dark side and light side because he was a spy, and so he was sort of playing both. But he was also really conflicted in general, and a lot of what he saw sort of changed him and warped him. They're doing a similar thing with this new Jedi, and I love it. I'm hooked. She is very much trying to remain undercover while also trying not to violate her orders, and that's amazing writing. On top of that, we get another Jedi who's been introduced who is really cool. He sort of reminds me of one of those ancient samurai, like Akira Kurosawa style movies where the guy was wearing like the long brim hat, and he's got a double lightsaber that has a certain color crystal of an MF in Jedi, and I was blown away by that, and I think you will be too if you're a Jedi fan. So that character is ridiculously cool, and I need to know more about that character. Like, I'm not kidding. Without being too spoilery, he does something rather impressive, and I was immediately hooked. But her story being close to Quinlan Vos has me intrigued, and I'm fully on board. That's what it took. Like, before this, I was like, I don't know about the new stuff. I'm still kind of on the fence because I love the expanded universe. But you give me a character that reminds me of one of my favorite characters, and I'm hooked. I'm hooked. So I love it, and I say read it, must buy. Is it my Marvel pick of the week? I said that other book was my indie pick of the week, but I just saw something else. I don't know. Now I'm kind of torn. Is it my No, it's not. It's not my Marvel pick of the week. For good reason. Yeah, for good reason. It's not my Marvel pick of the week. It's close. Okay.
I don't even know which one.
Yeah, so next is Star Wars Adventures. This is older Bruno and Naughty. And this is the kid version of the High Republic, but I gotta tell you that this issue in particular is not very kid-esque. It involves some people. That new Jedi is in there as well, but it involves wait, did I get my issues confused? I might have got my issues. Excuse me. I might have got my issues confused.
That double-bladed one.
That double-bladed one is in Adventures, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So scratch that. Half of that. The double-bladed character that is new is in Adventures, and the Quinlan Vos undercover is in the regular High Republic. So you need to pick up both, really. Both of these stories intrigue me for separate reasons, but my brain put them together. that new character is in this one, and he's kind of amazing. So don't skip that. So I broke down both books at the same time. Sorry about that. Next is Lambert, Ignazi, and Iacona, and this is Buffy the Vampire Slayer with a very tiny created by Joss Whedon, and it is amazing. Oh God, this is outstanding. So if you are a Buffy fan, you will know that there is a certain weapon that is tied to her origin that came out in one of the season finales. That weapon that comes into play here. On top of that, we have several Slayers trying to fight, another apocalypse, but it's an apocalypse of the multiverse, and going up against. Well, we're gonna get a Watcher fight because Giles' mom is in play. That's weird, wild, and kind of cool. I love how all this is playing out, but Willow is officially way. I think the current Willow in the comic series has a power level that is well beyond the '90s TV show Willow.
100 times.
Like quite a
like
bit. Yeah. I think she's doing some insane stuff, and I don't know how that character is doing it. But anyways, so is it a good read? Yes. The art is amazing. The story is really fun, and I mean really fun. I know things got a little slow after the whole Sander fall for a minute there, but it has picked up, and wow, has it picked up. This is great. And if you're a Buffy fan, you will be loving this stuff. If you are anyone else and you want to jump in on some Buffy, it is a great time to discover this universe. Trust me, it's fun. Next is McKay, Carlo Magno, Guara, and Consani, and we're talking about Magic the Gathering issue number 6. Now, we all know that the Planeswalkers are powerful, but how powerful are the Planeswalkers? Can they kill a god? Can they kill a god? I don't know. This is why we need Yogi here, because he knows Magic the Gathering way better than us. But we're going to get to see just that. We're going to get to see the legend of a Planeswalker, how it plays out, and whether or not a Planeswalker can actually kill a god. And the art is great. The story is great. It reads like an old fable, somebody retelling an old fable, and it's really fun. There's nothing to complain about this Magic the Gathering run. Every single issue has just knocked it out of the park, and I haven't been bored once. And each time, I think that, okay, you've told enough of this story. Like, maybe you're going to give us some filler. They're like, no, we're going to go on a totally new angle, keep to that fantasy trope, and still knock it out of the park, and still shock you and surprise you. Now, the art is outstanding, and the covers are amazing, but even the covers don't seem to do, like, the inside justice. You're getting a really, like, an amazing work of art that you could probably hang on your wall, and some of you will. But on top of that, the story is really fun. I mean, they've really hooked up to an amazing team here at Boom Studios for these books, and you should not be skipping them. If you are a Boom fan, I'm sure it's a good time to be a Boom fan. You guys have so many good books on the shelf, but like this one in particular is probably the best. So, yeah, all of the Magic the Gathering stuff is amazing. Next is Brisson, Spencer, Bagley, Neves, Ferreira, Hennessy, Owens, and Reber, and we're talking about Sinister War now. Okay. Who's Spider-Man still dealing with, Cam? I can never remember his name. Is it like Revenant? Remnant? Centipede Dude. We're just going to call him Centipede Dude. And he's also, once again, somehow dealing with Sin Eater again, who came back to life at the last issue of Sinister War. And he's dealing with several teams of the Sinister Six in different forms. And, he's dealing with Boomerang's team, too, who I think is also a Sinister Six, right? And they're all being mind-controlled by Centipede Man. And Mephisto has a bet with Doctor Strange. There is so much going together. Nick Spencer has put too many moving parts together, and I haven't been having the best time with it. But the one thing I've had an amazing time with has been this Sinister War run. While the mainline Spider-Man has dragged a bit, the Sinister War stuff was pretty good. Were you reading it at all, Cam?
No.
Okay, Cam wasn't reading it. I thought every issue was pretty good. This one being the wrap-up to how the big fight happens, and it's not quite the wrap-up to the story, but it is the wrap-up to how the big fight happens, was outstanding. The action was amazing. The way it played out was quite good. I'm going to say that it was supremely good. Is that too much of a hint as to who sort of helps out there?
on
Kind of, maybe, but it was kind of a cool moment and pretty touching too, the way it played out. Like I don't know, I liked how it played out. You'll have to wait and see. All I gotta say is if you enslave the most wicked minds that go up against Spider-Man, you're gonna have a problem on your hands. They're gonna eventually take slide at that because they're not very dumb people overall. So yeah, you need to read it. Honestly, it was amazing. Like I have criticized Nick Spencer run left and right, and yet I had a great time with that miniseries. So yeah. Okay, so I said that other book was my pick of the week, and I'm not taking that back. It's still my indie pick of the week. But the closest of close seconds is going to be The Many Deaths of Layla Starr. Ram V, Philip Andre, issue number 5. Now, this is the wrap up. The art is still one of the most gorgeous things I've probably ever read. And the story and the writing is also some of the most gorgeous stuff I've ever read. And I think I told you guys that every issue seemed to be written like it was poetry. And this one, the same. They even drop like lyrics from famous poems in this comic, and it fits so well. And yeah, it's issue number 5. It's the wrap up. It's about basically how Death got her groove back, sort of. She basically got her walking papers in the first issue because somebody was going to cure immortality, and this is how the final issue plays out. And it was amazing, and it was like watching a beautiful sunset is how I'm gonna put it. This book is outstanding, and I'm gonna say it right now. It was a perfect comic. It was a perfect comic, and Rom V made, or maybe it's Rom 5. I don't know. It could be Roman numeral. Rom V made a huge super fan out of me with this book. I will be buying the trade, even though I've bought a lot of the comics. So again, not my indie pick of the week. It's every week my indie pick of the week seems to be Layla Starr. This one time it's not, but that shouldn't be underselling it to you. It's so ridiculously close, and this book was amazing. And if you haven't read this book, you need to pick up the trade when it comes out, because believe me when I tell you, it was a beautiful and magical story, and it was told with one of the best writing voices and some of the best art I've ever seen in comics. The Rolls Royce of comics right here. Okay.
the art too, or just
No, the art was done by Philip Andre, and man, that dude is going places. Oh,
for your next Ram V book, pick up Venom in stores in October.
oh, is he writing? But no.
Him and Al Ewing are teaming up for Venom.
Oh my God, are you serious? Oh, Al Ewing and Ron V are teaming up for Venom. That is gonna be amazing. Wow. Okay. I'm fully on board for that. Next, inspired by the true story of husband and wife Russian spies who typically wouldn't live long enough to tell such a tale, it's Almost American. Now, this is by Ron Mars and Marco Castillo. Now, Flavio Dispenzia and Russ Wooten. Okay, I did not know what to expect. I liked the cover because the cover reminded me of a much more organized Department of Truth, is how it looked. Now, the art, I will tell you that the art, I was not a fan of a lot of the art. For whatever reason, some of the art felt to me a bit Zenoscopy, which is pretty much where my line is drawn for whether or not I enjoy an art. Art, it wasn't my jam, and something about the eyes just never quite felt right. But what did intrigue me was the story. This is a true story about Russian spies who were married, who basically defected to the United States, and it's telling how and why and where they went. And I don't know if it's going to be a perfect story, because how do you tell a spy story without like giving away more like state secrets of some kind? But I am super intrigued, and I want to know more about their lives. And I don't know these people. I've never heard of this story. Have you, Cam?
I mean, I thought they made like TV shows about it, haven't they?
Well, they have the Americans, but I don't think the Americans is their story, is it?
Probably like a different telling.
Maybe it was inspired by or something.
There's always like different tellings of that story.
Right. It's outstanding, and at the very end, they actually show the spies, and they look cool. They look like really awesome spies, and they actually do look a lot like their characters. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Even though I criticize the art, I mean, the artists really nailed their form. So there you go. The story is actually really intriguing. There's not a lot of action just yet. There's some. It's okay. But if you are like me and you sort of do like sort of that Cold War uh, vibe to stories and stuff like that, you'll like it. You'll like it. I think if you're a Department of Truth fan, even though it's not anything quite like it, you'll probably still be into it because it has a similar sort of CIA theme at times, direct CIA theme, I guess. Next is Thompson, Davia, Parsons, and Alberta, and we're talking about Captain Marvel and the last of the Marvels. So we see her fighting somebody with a big giant star on their face. Any guesses as to who that person is, Cam? Who do you think?
Evil clone from the last Avengers storyline.
Evil clone. My first thought was, it's Star, but we know she's sort of doing something else right now.
Kind of chilling with Black.
Yeah. So I don't know. They've got a Captain Marvel symbol on their face, and they're fighting them. And did you read the last issue?
Yeah.
So was it explained? Is this person in control?
No, they didn't even. The storyline didn't even start last issue.
Oh, it didn't start. Oh, okay.
Like the last issue was like her and Rhodey like on vacation and her trying to
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Well, wasn't that an annual though?
Nah.
Oh, okay. That was a really good issue.
Everybody was like kind of like bothering her, like her sister came from outer space, like be like, oh yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that was a good issue. That was a really good issue. So I don't know. I thought maybe this kicked off in the last issue. I know we'd seen this character already, but basically she's going to be fighting, and there's going to be an explanation to it. And I don't know. I mean, like it says the last of the Marvels. You can kind of guess what's sort of going on here, maybe.
I don't know if it's like that one dude from like that arc, like 2 arcs ago, that was like trying to get her to like kill her.
No, that was the one we thought was Sleeper, right?
Kind of looked like Sleeper.
Yeah.
But she had that same suit while she was doing it.
Yeah. Anyways, no, maybe not. But anyways, so the story, it's fun. It's just I don't know. I was a little confused for whatever reason. Like the fight seemed very sudden, and I thought we'd had a build up to this. But there's plenty of action. I mean, plenty of action. Like if you are like me, you're always like, don't let Captain Marvel solve things with a hug. Let her solve things with her fist because that's Captain Marvel. You get that in spades here. It was outstanding. There is a lot of fighting, and it plays out exactly how I wanted it to play out. And we're sort of going to see. There's a lot of room to grow with this storyline, so we're going to have to see where it goes. It's pretty good. Anyways, the art is amazing. The story is amazing. Next is a book that, again, is not my DC pick of the week. So close, though. Ridiculously close. This is Tom Taylor, Ibn Kuela, and Brian Reber, and this is Dark Ages. Now, I'm going to give you the premise of this, and I'm sort of going to have to spoil a little bit of it. The reason being is you can't really talk about a number one without spoiling some of it. So here it goes. This is essentially how superpowers and superheroes and supervillains would function if the world lost its power, its science, its electricity. How would that play out? And honestly, it's really cool. Like the way it goes down is, it's kind of an excuse for this to happen. But the last page is kind of what blew me away, and I think it'll blow you away too. And I'm fully on board. I want to know how this is playing out. You didn't know that?
I didn't. You didn't tell me about that.
I didn't tell you about.
You didn't say anything about the last page.
The last page is mind blowing. I turned to it and I was like, whoa! You'll have to see. Is it good? Yes, the art is amazing. The story, look, it's Tom Taylor. I'm not underselling it. It's gonna be a great story. And plus, any story that has the Uatu showing up and going like, look, okay, I'm the Watcher, but the world is doomed, and you need to do something. Like when Uatu breaks his rules, he breaks like every 5 minutes, but claims he never does. Something good is happening.
I can't
yeah, he does that all the time, dude. Like, that's his jam. The art is great. The story is great. It was really fun. The dialogue was written well. I love the interactions, and whoever is writing this as a Parker tale is really like they've nailed the character. It's a really fun Parker, Mary J. Oh yeah, whoever's writing it, and it's Tom Taylor. I'm my dumb so. Next is Peach Momoko. You never miss. That's true for Tom Taylor. Peach Momoko. Demon Days, Cursed Web. This is both story and art. Look, okay, I have told you guys this is X-Men meets Usagi Yojimbo, and I stand by that. But really, it's way more bloody at times and fun, and it's very much. It feels like X-Men meets Akira Kurosawa. You're getting a samurai story told with mutants, and it's fun and wicked, and there's a general mystery in it, and the art is outstanding. You're getting an entire book of Peter Vocal art. So I'm not underselling it and saying that you should buy it for that reason alone. The art is outstanding, but the story is so wicked and good. And they do not, like, she does not dial it back on blood and gore and the violence and action. Like, she has nailed exactly what I want out of an Akira Kurosawa story. Even though they were all kind of black and white films, they were brutal at times, and I loved it. And that's what you're getting here. It's great. Um, so I can't gush about this enough. This is almost a must buy. Is it my Marvel pick of the week? No, no, it's a close second. It's not quite my Marvel pick of the week, but really, really close. Next is another book that actually came close to being my Marvel pick of the week.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to tell you flat out. It was fun. And the ending was a shocker. This is Wells, Antonio, and Burrito, and this is Hellions. Now, Hellions has been having a problem because Mr. Sinister has gone off and sent one of his clones to sort of serve with the Araco people during the trial of, what was it, the trial, Swords of X? During
Yeah, for the
Swords of X event. And he's come back, and more importantly, he sort of ambushed the Hellions. And honestly, if it's a day ending in Y, the Hellions are getting ambushed. You realize that? Like, they're the demolition team that when you send in, when you want everything absolutely destroyed, and even if you tell them to do their job right, they're not going to do it right. Like, that's the team you send. And yet they get ambushed every other book, it feels like. Am I wrong there? I'm not wrong. Like, the Hellions get ambushed the most of all the X teams. But, so, the story is really good. And the way it's sort of grown to this climax, I'm loving what's happening right now. But the ending was very shocking and surprising, and I did not see that coming at all. And you won't either. It's pretty good. So, if you have not been reading Hellions, should you jump in on this book right now? No. You will be confused to all hell. But you should go back a couple issues, pick them up, and see if you like them. I will say, don't go back too far because the Hellion run did stagnate at first, but the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 issues have been pretty damn good. I've been having a good time, and they finally established this team a bit better with some more footing where I've said, oh, I kind of like these characters now. And I haven't said that up until then. I mean, some of them I've always liked, like Psylocke. Next is Jason Aaron. I love that they put Aaron and Garen together, or Garon, I think. Aaron and Garon and Curio, and we're talking about Earth's Mightiest Hero, The Avengers, World War She-Hulk Part 3, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to call it right here. This is my Marvel pick of the week, the last book on our list. Why is it my Marvel pick of the week? Well, it centers partially around Gorilla Man, and we know he betrayed the Avengers in perhaps the worst way. He poisoned Avengers Mountain, and then he sort of let big bads in, and he let She-Hulk get kidnapped and get brainwashed by the Red Room, which is a problem. We now have a Red She-Hulk that is very, very pissed off. And she unites with Gorilla Man, whom I love. He's really a tortured soul. The way his voice is penned is beautiful. And I don't know, at times this character reminds me of Swamp Thing over in DC. He really does. So I don't know. It's weird to say, but I think I love the Gorilla Man character that I've never really had liked. Have you ever liked Gorilla Man that much?
up and down.
He's kind of been mostly a side character where I'm like, something. But this one, I don't know. His dialogue is amazing. It's beautiful. The art is great. We might be seeing a great sacrifice on Gorilla Man's part in the next issue. And what She-Hulk is doing is mind-blowing. Granted, she is a She-Hulk that has now been brainwashed by the Red Room in the most wicked of ways. They reveal that in here, and it's shocking. It's really shocking. But on top of that, what she is choosing to do is insane. It's suicide because the character she is going up against is ridiculously OP and one of Cam's favorite characters. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I can't say more without spoiling it, but is it great? Yes, it's great. The dialogue is beautiful. The Gorilla Man's monologue is outstanding.
Symbiotic.
No.
My other favorite.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
And we're seeing a She-Hulk on a level like Jen has always of all the Hulk family. Can I call them Hulk family? Like Bat family, basically. All of the Hulk family characters, Jen definitely has her head on her shoulders compared to the rest of them, save for Amadeus Cho. I think Amadeus Cho is probably the most clear thinking.
Or Joe Fix It.
What?
Joe Fix It.
Joe Fix It? I wouldn't say Joe's clear thinking. You can trigger him and piss him off pretty bad. But Jen tends to be pretty clear thinking even as a Hulk. Even though she's still a Hulk and she's still very stubborn at times, I would say she's the most put together. We're going to see her in a new form here entirely, where you don't really know what she's capable of, and it's wild to see. So, yeah, pick of the week for Marvel, without a doubt, Avengers, issue number 48, outstanding writing. That's our show for this week. Once again, my picks for this week: DC, Teen Titans Academy. Indy was, what did I pick for Indy?
Wasn't Layla Star, right?
No, it wasn't Layla Star, but Layla Star is a close second. It was Lucky Devil. Lucky Devil is my Indie pick of the week, and from Marvel, it's Avengers issue number 48. You should not skip those books. And that's our show for the. Oh, I gotta plug something. I gotta plug something for Al before I forget. I almost forgot.
I kind of forgot to do it. So.
I really almost forgot, but I caught it at the last second. We have, just so you guys know, we have. Oh my God, Al, I'm so sorry that I forgot until this point. We have Stray Dogs signed issues signed from Tony Rodriguez. These Al braved the storm, the convention storm this weekend, and got all of these signed. And this one in particular is $75. $75. This is a fifth second printing, issue 5 second printing. And then we also have him signing free comic book day ones, which are half that price, $40. But Stray Dogs right now is the hottest thing on our shelves and is almost impossible to get when it comes out and then sells out. On top of that, every special edition thing that happens, I'm not kidding. Like there's currently a Stray Dogs comic that is entirely covers, and that one is selling for between 150 to 250 bucks on eBay right now. So you buy these, you are buying an investment that will skyrocket. This is almost a guaranteed thing. It was picked up by Paramount, so they're going to be making a movie out of it. It's outstanding, and Stray Dogs fans are like just they are in love with this fandom, and I think you will be too. So you definitely need to come by these. Al braved the storm for the conventions this weekend and really, really went above and beyond for us. So we have all of these. They might not be here that long. If we don't sell them this week, they might be shipping off somewhere. So you should absolutely come by them if you want them. We will have them on our shelves. I will make a post about it too. I'm sorry, Al, I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video. I blanked. It's been a busy day, man. And that's our show for this week. I've got to go clean the back and break down boxes and put out books. Are the books almost put out?
Yep.
Oh, cool. Camstat tackled that. So I got one less thing to do, but I've got a lot to do. And then get up and come back in the morning early because the mall's going to bother us with an inspection. Don't get me started. Anyways, we'll be here. Come pick up your books. Come see us. Come say hi. And love you guys. Peace.